Hi there. Today we are going to find the horizontal distance between two given points. Example number 1. In this example we are given 2 points. Point 1 has an x value of 1 and a y value of 3. Point 2 has an x value of 4 and a y value of 3. We're going to label our first point as x1, y1, and our second point as x2, y2. And this will give us the formula to use to find the change in x, which will give us the horizontal difference between 2 points. To find the change in x, change is being represented by a triangle here, or a delta. To find the change in x, we need to subtract the first x value from the second x value. So we set that up by saying x2 for the second x value minus x1 from the first x value. So now we can substitute in our values. x2 is represented by 4 right here in point 2, and x1 is represented by 1 in the first point. We complete that math equation and we get 3. So the change in the x value is equal to 3. Now let's put that on a graph. The x value of our first point is 1 and our y value is 3, so our first point will go here. Our second point, our x value is 4 and our y value is 3, so that point will go here. On the graph we can see that the distance between these 2 points is 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3, and this is the distance between these 2 points along a horizontal line. Let's look at another example of how to find the horizontal distance between 2 points. We're going to use the same formula. The change in x equals x2 minus x1. This time our x values are negative, so we'll need to be careful when subtracting negative numbers. Our second point has an x value of negative 3. Our first point has an x value of negative 1. The formula says that we need to subtract the x value of 1, so we're going to subtract the value of negative 1. When we subtract a negative number, we actually need to add instead of subtract. So the double negative cancels each other out. So negative 3 plus 1 will help us find the distance between these 2 points. Just a reminder, when we're dealing with negative numbers and addition and subtraction, if we have a value like negative 3 and we're adding 1 to it, we're actually moving closer to 0. So when we add 1 to negative 3, we actually move towards 0, and our answer is negative 2. Okay? Since we're talking about a distance, we need to use the absolute value of negative 2 to find the distance. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. The absolute value is asking about the distance between the number and 0. Again, looking at our number line, negative 2 is 2 away from 0. So 2 is the absolute value of negative 2. That's how far away it is from 0. Now let's graph example 2. The first point has an x value of -1 and a y value of 2. So we'll go over to the left -1, and we'll go up 2. Our second point is at -3, y value is 2, so we'll go here. The distance between these 2 points is 1, 2. And this is the same value that we came up with when we did it using our formula. Now let's take a look at another example. Example number 3. We'll use the same formula, x2 minus x1 equals our change in x, and a reminder that the 1 and 2 are referring to our first point and our second point. So we can substitute in our values. X2 equals 3 and x1 equals -1. So we're subtracting based on our formula, and then we need to put the value of -1 there. So once again, when we are adding a negative number, it becomes a positive. So we do 3 plus 1 to find our change in value. So let's take a look at this on a graph and see what that looks like. Okay, our first point was -1, 1. So our x value is -1 and our y value is 1. We'll put our first point here. Our second point is 3, 1. So our x value is 3 and our y value is 1. We need to find the distance between the 2 points. 1, 2, 3 to get to 0, and 1 more to get to -1. So we have 4 is our distance there. Now we are going to find the vertical distance between 2 y values given in 2 points. Here's example A on finding the vertical distance between 2 points. Notice that the x value stays the same. And this time we're looking at the difference in the y values. We will use the similar formula. The change in y equals y2, or the y value from point 2, minus the y value from point 1. In this case, our point 2 y value is 0. And our point 1 y value is 3. So 0 minus 3 equals -3. Distance cannot equal a negative number. So what we need to do is find the absolute value of our negative. The absolute value of -3 is 3. A reminder of why, if we look on a number line, we go -1, 2, 3. Absolute value determines the distance between the number and 0. So the distance between -3 and 0 is 3. Now let's take a look at the graph for our example to double check our answer. Both points are positive, so our answer is going to be in quadrant 1. Our first point is 1, 3. So our x value is 1 and our y value is 3. Our second point is found at 1, 0. This means our x value is 1 and our y value is 0, so it's going to be right here on the x-axis. Now we need to look at the distance between the 2 points. 1, 2, 3. So 3 is our change in y. For vertical change, we follow the same rules as we did for horizontal change, looking for the distance between the 2 y values instead of the 2 x values. If you have any further questions on this, please contact your teacher or join one of our tutoring sessions. See the schedule in your Google Classroom.